everyone. It is Heather with Rosehill Paper Cottage. Welcome to my new craft space. So I'm so excited to share it with you. It's still a work in progress, but for the most part, it's laid out, pretty much how I want it. I just need to do a lot more, little bits of organizing and a little bit of unpacking still. But there was a lot of people that were really interested in my new space. And one of the things that I did was I decided this time, if you ever saw my old craft room, I just had a stationary desk. But this time I went with ones that could raise and lower so that if I'm doing standing tasks or sitting tasks, these could be adjusted to that. So I'm really excited about that. And I can put the desks, both desks together. That's a lot of S's and stuff. Anyway. So I have one over here. This is going to be kind of like the sewing, fabric, that sort of stuff. And then the drawers will have, just like a lot of different items, but mainly it's going to be things that I would, sew with, textural items, trims, that sort of stuff is kind of what I'm thinking about. And the other side is going to be more, like my in the moment, crafting and, all of the technical stuff as well, administrative. So I'll kind of give you like a little bit of a tour of, where I've got things, but, this could kind of change. So under here right now, this is where all the cables are for the, the laptop and the TV, and how I just kind of have everything, underneath there. There's a shredder, an extra little basket. I might make that my waste bin. I don't know. We'll see. And then I know a lot of people were interested in like what I brought with me as well. So on top of my desk, you can see those boxes I've brought over. This here is new though, a new printer, and then I wanted to have it on a rolling cart. And then I've got some, paper trays below it for storage. So really simple, and I can roll it around and use it wherever I need to. But these are the drawers I brought over. So we came with 4 suitcases, and then I sent over a box that weighed 60 pounds. I picked it up from Home Depot. It's called Send My Bag, I think, or Send a Bag, something like that. And you just have to work in those dimensions and then the weight and everything, and it's calculated of how much it's going to cost. So it's just a flat fee to send it over. But a lot of people were really interested to see, what I had brought over. So while I'm talking, you can kind of just, see. And it's kind of funny because like these stamps here, I had already purchased them in the UK, I believe when I was here last October. But then I ended up bringing them back over. I should have just left them with one of our relatives, But anywho's. The batteries I did not bring over. I purchased those here. However, you have to be careful about, you have to have batteries on you. So we just didn't have any of the batteries on us, the loose batteries, so we just bought new here. Can't go anywhere without my mini staples from Tim Holtz. I just love those. And then lots of washi I brought over, but I had to part with some, and my niece was very happy about that because she got all my leftover washi. But I just packed this box. I mean, I had to think about stuff being lightweight, but I also wanted to bring over things, and I wasn't exactly sure what was easily, what I could easily get. And if I already had things that were lightweight, I wanted to bring those with me. In hindsight, I did pretty good, but I probably would have brought just a couple other items. But some stuff you can't bring, anything that's flammable. So a lot of my glues. And I brought over my inks, which you'll see in a little bit, but I couldn't bring over the flammable alcohol inks. That was my mama's stocking when she was a kid. Isn't that cute? I've kept that for years and I still have it to this day. So just like a lot of little, knickknacks, they either have personal meaning or just things that I enjoy using, I like to have. Those were gifts from my husband, so I brought those cookie cutters over. So obviously some of this is not, craft room related, but I shipped it over. It was just easy to fit into these tiny little boxes here, and, it just was a no-brainer to just, toss them in there and then just ship it all over. Those are like little miniature, cooking themed, baking themed ornaments. So I didn't drag all those out. They're not craft related. And those are mica powders. I want to try to use, some of those. I always love a little bit of shimmer and things, and I didn't get around to using them. So, hole reinforcements, different, trims, things I bind journals with. You're going to see some of the threads here. So, you can get things here, but if it was lightweight and I use it and I like it and I wanted it, then I brought it with me, or I tried to. I obviously had to leave quite a few things behind. But I love these boxes, so I really had to make this work. I had to make these come with me. So lots of different little cutting blades, and you'll see there's lots of, little ephemera bits, some ribbon and trim. My brother made that wooden thing. It's to hold open like a book when you read it. Not craft related. More punches, needles. I brought over both of my label makers, so I brought those, the refills for them. But I really packed that box full. I think I was at 59.6 pounds or something like that. It was so heavy, and it got here in 2 days. So almost a month before we actually even arrived here. So we moved here at the very end of February. So it's been a little bit. So I hope you enjoy this video, because it's been a long time since I've posted anything. And I have moved around these drawers now. I have other things in it. What I love these drawers for is everything that I use regularly, that I'm going to reach for, and obviously that will fit in these little boxes. But it's just so handy when you're working and creating. Even though the other side of the room isn't that far away, you don't want to have to get up and go and find things because, well, if you're like me, I get distracted really, really easily. And then I go on to something else, and then I'm like, what was I doing? So I don't know if you're like that, but I just like having everything right there that I can just grab, when I'm needing it. Those are all those Tim Holtz, the tissue, all the fun, patterns that he has. And then a lot of extra tags. And I brought over, a few sentimental things as well of, things that people have given me and stuff. But yeah, I had to part with quite a few things. That's just how it is. So I brought over some of my favorite scissors and, tools and my seam ripper. I brought over all of this except for the glue in there and the paintbrushes. Those are new, but I brought all the tools. Now the tool caddy is new. I did not bring my old one. I tried to the very end and then left it in my car, and I don't know what my mother has done with it. But I did not bring it. So I brought over my big kick and some ephemera pieces. That's all, tucked inside there, embossing folders. And then you'll probably recognize, if you ever saw my craft room before, those caddies are from Target. So here are the inks that I brought, and I brought my little tool turnabout kind of caddy thing. I haven't used it for anything, and I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go, but I did bring it. So here on the other side, which I guess I should say, this whole system is the IVAR system from IKEA. I love that it was wood, and I love that it's all kind of interchangeable, and I can move things around in pieces, when I relocate to a different craft room one day. These are all my saris that I brought over. I know I'm skipping all around, but just bear with me. This is just how I go. So these basket holder things are also part of the IVAR system. These are some fabrics that I brought over. I'm sure you remember these, from just other videos and such. My other craft room, how I did the foam board. If you're interested in wrapping your fabric like that, you can go back to my other craft room tour. It's there. And then I thought these baskets from IKEA were great for, putting fabric in. So I brought over some leather. I've had this leather forever, and I want to utilize it more. And then that fabric behind it is fabric I've gotten here since. And then I brought over these fabrics here. These are by J. Wecker Frisch. And I made I think 3 kind of garden type journals. So in here, you'll just see just some random stuff I brought, like my wax melts and stamps, and the watercolors are new. I got those here. And then I brought over my containers that have all my little bits and bobs in them. And then there's my label makers. And then I brought over just a selection of all kinds of different, of my favorite fabrics I never got to use, fabrics I've been hoarding, that sort of stuff. I put them in these e-bags. And if you've never used e-bags, they're fantastic. I love them. My sister-in-law got me some, and I travel everywhere with them. It's so great to have everything in them. So that's what these are enclosed in, are these e-bags. So I still need to go through this. So this is going to be really fun, but I did bring over, and I had to be very selective about the pieces. So this is a new sewing machine, a Singer sewing machine. I don't remember the model number. I'll probably try to put that below, but it's a heavy duty one. I wanted something that would really sew through some thick things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure there'll be future videos when I get a little bit more organized. But anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me below.